I mean, yes, and also my family's and yes. The idea was that we wanted to cast a spell on our audience. Like, that was the big idea of the show, and it was sort of several weeks into the process that we were like, well, like, a song is a spell, and so the fact that it got stuck in people's heads and that it iterated and iterated, to me, that means we accomplished our goal. A spell was cast on the audience, so I feel great about it. It was before we started production, and it was very early on, and I had lunch with Kathryn Hahn, and she was asking me who was going to direct, and I told her that I was, and I was very nervous, and I was like, is that okay? And she was like, in her Kathryn way. She's like, what's happening? It's everything. And she just fully committed to the adventure with me, and that was a really big moment for me, like, personally, emotionally, and also I feel like for my career. There were a lot of those moments. One moment that was really special was when in episode 6 at the very end, when the camera pushes in on Joe and he says, "I'm Billy Maximoff."
Say again.
I'm Billy Maximoff.
We shot that a little bit later in the schedule, and Joe is extraordinary in the show, and he really sort of came into his own during production. And that moment, I think it was like the fourth or fifth take, he says it, and it has so much gravity to it. He owns it. And afterwards, I went to the Steadicam operator, Nick Muller, who's really talented, and I was like, you nailed it with that move. And he said to me, he's like, no, Joe pulled me in. And I was like, he did. So that was just, I was like, we've made a superhero. I mean, of course I went to see Wicked, and of course I cried through the entirety of it. And it also, I went with a dear friend, and we both just cried. We just cried. We were just leaking the whole time. And it's one of those that I sort of hope Agatha is maybe in this camp, where there are times when you cry and you're not really sure. It's some intersection of women and, being marginalized and being pushed to the side and stepping into your own power and fighting injustice and finding sisterhood, and then sisterhood being disappointing, and all of that sort of morass. It was so moving to me. And I think that is what it means to be a witch, is all of that complexity. Well, we had a line that we had to cut that I can't even, it's not even gonna be funny. It's just it's Laura Donnie, one of the writers, is very talented. She wrote a terrific line. Let me think. I mean, I love Kathryn. If you want a straight answers, ask a straight lady. I'm like, yeah, girl, do it.
Hey, you want straight answers? Ask a straight lady.